Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Headlocks and Hot Packs. And no trivia for this evening, even though it is a Tuesday night. I'm going to be dipping back into my wrestling figure collection. Last time I did one of these videos, we checked out my top 5 favorite autographs in my collection, which included some figures, so make sure you go back and check that one out in the archives. But for today, it's another top 5. This time, my 5 favorite wrestling action figures that I have in my collection. This doesn't include my Hasbros, and this doesn't include the WWE Legends series, which is what I primarily collect now. So we're going to be dipping into kind of the miscellaneous pile of my action figure collection. So again, top 5 action figures, wrestling related, that I own. I don't know why I said wrestling related. I only have wrestling ones. But yeah, top 5. So stick around and check out what I've got to offer. At number 5, beginning things off, we have wrestling royalty with this Mattel WWE Elite Collection Series 82, Jerry the King Lawler, the WWE Hall of Famer on this action figure here. This was pretty sought after at one point. I had multiple offers to take this off my hands. Of course, I only really specifically collect the Legends line these days. But this one was too good for me to not hang on to. The detail on this is just incredible, including the tassels on his robe there, the little sequins or whatever you want to call them on his robe, cape, and all that. Of course, you have his crown. And this gear here is from right around, I want to say this is 1994, the beginning stages of Jerry Lawler in the WWE. Of course, comes with an extra pair of hands, as a lot of these elites did at the time and still do. Most of them come with extra heads, but of course you got the FX like lifelike details. So super detailed Jerry the King Lawler, the only Jerry Lawler that I have in my collection. And you always have to shout out Mattel for their packaging. The packaging is always beautiful. But that puts this one at number 5 in my top 5 here for me, Jerry the King Lawler. Appropriately enough, at number 4 is a 4-pack, the WWE Elite Hall of Fame series, which was exclusive to Target. It is the symbol of excellence, the elite of professional wrestling, and I'm not talking about the Bucks and Omega. The originals, the 4 Horsemen, this 4-pack, a Target exclusive. Like I said, that whole Hall of Fame series was exclusive to Target. This commemorates their 2012 Hall of Fame induction, which famously saw Ric Flair say he wished that he worked for the WWE, even though he was under contract to TNA Impact Wrestling at the time. This is the iteration that was inducted into the Hall. That does not include original member Ole Anderson. This is the formation of the group that Flair has always said was his favorite. Individually, that would be the Nature Boy himself, the Enforcer Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and then of course that pesky Tully Blanchard. But again, Mattel always does very well on the packaging here. Beautiful packaging as we check out all of that here as well. But again, this was one of the first things that I picked up when I started collecting figures. I owned a lot of action figures when I was a kid, but this was right around when I first started collecting them and keeping them in the box. So again, appropriately at number 4, it is the original Enforcers, the heels of Jim Crockett Promotions, the 4 Horsemen. Batting in the 3 hole on my list is the Batman himself, but this is before the days he was carrying a bat. It is my all-time favorite wrestler, Sting. Of course, if you are a returning watcher to the channel, you already knew that he's my all-time favorite wrestler. And you already knew about my affinity for these defining moments figures, which we talked about in my top 5 wrestling autographs collection, where I showed off my Sting autographed Crow defining moments. But of course, this is what wrestling fans refer to as Surfer Sting, and this commemorates his first WCW World Championship win at the Great American Bash in 1990, defeating Ric Flair. Of course, this came late in his career, or later than it was supposed to come in his career, as the previously planned title switch from Flair to Sting was derailed due to a knee injury a few months prior to this. But of course, the details on these defining moments, again, I just absolutely love them. The packaging is beautiful, especially the back, where it gives you a detailed description of the defining moment. And of course, the packaging is very specific to the individual wrestler that is the figure. So, very, very cool packaging. And of course, gotta love the US of A Surfer Sting outfit here. So that makes this one number 3 in our top 5. Only 2 more left to go. Just short of our number 1 spot is number 2 here, but it's kind of hard to put this guy number 2 on any list. It is the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart. How can you be a wrestling fan and not be a Bret Hart fan? This figure here is made in 2013. This is another one from the Elite series, and this is the WrestleMania 30 flashback. Of course, this one here, not WrestleMania 30, because Bret did not perform at WrestleMania 30. That was far past the time he was finished up. But this one flashing back to 1994 at WrestleMania 10. That was the year that the year at WrestleMania he regained the championship from Yokozuna in a night where he had 2 matches. Of course, the match of the night, most people think the match of the night came in the opening match, where Bret lost to his brother Owen, but then went on to defeat Yokozuna in the main event for the WWF Championship. Again, there's not much else you can say. If you are a true wrestling fan, then you're probably a fan of the Hitman, and as with all the other elites, the detail on this one is of course incredible, and I really like the purple on this. The New Orleans kind of WrestleMania 30 logo color scheme really kind of, really popped on the packaging here. So this one comes in at number 2. At number 1, somebody that we've seen on the list previously, but this time he is on his own. So I won't continue to repeat how I feel about the details of the defining moments, but of course that lends a hand in making this one number 1. This one holds a special place in my heart because it is from the only WrestleMania that I ever attended, and in my opinion, it's the greatest match of all time, at least my favorite match of all time. This is the defining moments Mattel Ric Flair from WrestleMania 24. This was his, I guess you could say, first retirement match. Well, a lot of people to consider his actual retirement match against Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest stories ever told inside of a ring. Of course, the iconic quotes from HBK before that final super kick of "I'm sorry and I love you," and then the Nature Boy walking away to an enormous standing ovation, which included myself. So, like I said, it's probably my favorite wrestling memory that I have, just because going to WrestleMania, growing up as a WWF fan as a kid, was a dream. So just being able to go to one, like I said, really makes this one hold a special place to me, and I probably will never get rid of it. But on top of all that, like I said, the details on the defining moments are just ridiculous, especially here on Flair's robe, from the details on the back, the stitching on the Nature Boy, and the feathers, everything into consideration. That easily makes this my favorite action figure, wrestling figure, here in my collection. So that is it for my top 5 favorite wrestling figures in my collection. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, of course, thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. We'll be getting back into some more trivia here on Tuesdays in the coming weeks. Some other different kind of reactions with Mom and perhaps another guest if I can coax somebody else into that. But that's it for tonight. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys.